One of the things I always carry with me when I speak is a red-tailed hawk feather, which is my spirit animal. And the reason I do that is because it helps remind me to keep grounded, to keep focused, to never forget why I started. Wanaki wani, natishuish kwanyunyu medikishu, wani ka kishkard tuank. Good evening. My name is Stronghawk, and it's good to be here with you. And I spoke that in my ancestral language, which is Nipmuc. I'm from the Hassanamisco Nipmuc Band, located in Central Mass, Northwestern Rhode Island, and the Connecticut Valley. We were there for over 10,000 years prior to European invasion. If you see behind me is a series of images from my Ways of My Ancestors, We Are Still Here photography series. And interestingly enough, it started back when I was 15 years old, believe it or not. In school, in history class, I saw an image of a native warrior, and he just so happened to have female settler's hair wrapped around his hand, ripping up from his turf. And he had a tomahawk in his other hand, ready to strike her. And in the background was a burning cabin. And I didn't realize how much that bothered me until recently when I came to meet with Samantha Cataldo and two other of the curators, and I began to tell that story. And as I was telling the story, I welled up. And I said to myself immediately, I was like, Scott, what are you doing? You get a grip here. But what that told me and what it showed me is that imagery is very, very powerful. And it can shape the way you think about yourself, the way you think about others, the way you can influence a situation or think about and understand where you live or the world as a whole. I started taking pictures of my people at powwows because I really wanted to change that image in my mind. And when I started taking pictures, I came up with this signature black backdrop, which allows the viewer to focus in on the individual, to look in their eyes, to look at their regalia, to look at who they are. And essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break the stereotypes that we were taught in school, that we've learned in pulp culture, in theater, in movies, that we're here, we're human beings, and we deserve respect. And what I'm trying to accomplish with these images is to have the viewer take a look at Native American in their traditional regalia, the way we used to dress prior to colonization. But at the same token, more often than not, we walk in the same spaces as you do. We see you, but you don't see us. And it's important for everyone to understand and to get to know and want to get to know the Native community. One of the images that I want to share with you, I have two favorites that are up here. One of which is my mother, Ocean Sunrise. And this is actually the first image that I shot in my series, and I was taken back in 2010. I had an epiphany one day. I brought my youngest son out into the woods, and we were collecting leaves. He was 5 years old at the time. So I had to give him a task so that he wouldn't want to go home too early. I was out there taking pictures. And so we started collecting beautiful fall leaves, and he collected many. He just so happened to have a black sweatshirt on. So we held them up against himself, and when I got home and downloaded the pictures, I saw the impact that the black sweatshirt had on his hands and the leaves. It really isolated them. And I had an epiphany. I was like, oh my God. So 3 days later, I had my mother dressed in her regalia, and I took a picture of her in front of the sliding glass door. And this is what happened. I realized, I said, wow, she's so beautiful. And it took some time before I really got started going to powwows, but this is the starting point right here. So if you have the time, please come down and experience Ways of My Ancestors. I think that it's thought-provoking. I think that when you walk away, you'll get a better understanding of the indigenous community. And maybe you'll begin to see us as we see you. So come join us. It'll be a great experience, and I hope you come more than once. Akwani.